Welcome to Summernats.
We find ourselves in Australia, in its capital of Canberra. Known for its political locale, as is its designation, Canberra is home to many Australian cultural museums and archives, and is known for its quiet setting. But every year for the past 36 years, an event takes place that goes against all that Canberra is recognised for, and is the site for the biggest muscle car gathering in Australia, affectionately known as the Summernats.
So here we are, day one, Summernats 2024. Just arrived, and you can see the weather just finally cleared up. It was raining a few hours before. For those of you who can hear me, you can obviously see what's going on at the moment. You've got the Burnouts going over there. You've got the cruise right over here. So now, let's have a look and see what we can see. So the Summernats, which is a combination of Summer and National, started life back in late December of 1987. It was started by a bloke named Chick Henry. So over the years now, it's become one of the main attractions to Canberra every year, bringing in around about 120,000 people in attendance. And a rough estimate, at least at the height of its popularity, about $20 million in revenue. So as you can see now, like, this is still day one. The weather's been going on and off. You can see we've got the cruising going on. And if you've got sensitive ears, yeah, I recommend some earplugs. The event itself brings all sorts, special vehicles. You know, you've got your standard Australian muscle cars, you've got your American muscle cars, you know, you've got your Chevy Impalas, you got your Ford Falcons, you got your Holden Utes, your Holden Montanas, you got it, you name it. If it's in Australia and it's worth driving, it's here. Now again, this is still day one. The crowd is here, and the events are going to get started more or less over the weekend. But all in all, although I have done before, it just never ceases to amaze me just how pretty much full on this event is. Over the years, I've been at a few car shows, but as advertised, the Summernats is perhaps, if not the biggest car show Australia produces every year. Originally it started late December of 1987, around about the 31st. It drive on into the new year. Now they usually start at the first week of January of each year now. There's so much to behold, there's so much to do. You know, you'd need at least a full day as a spectator. And for me, it's going to take more than that just to have a look what's going on.
This year's 2024 event saw the highest attendance of Summernats on record, with over 130,000 people arriving in Exhibition Park. Entry for the cars was capped this year at 2,500 and were quota filled well in advance due to the popularity of the Nats, and the cars are here to be seen all day cruising about or just sitting pretty while they're getting prepared for a number of events and exhibitions of power.
You know, it's an event for young and old. It used to be a bit more selective. What I mean selective is it used to be a bit more for adults only at one point. Like during the day, it would, you know, dads and mums would bring their kids, and that night there'd be a array of different shows going on, different parties. I got my gear, I'm walking around, I'm a bit by myself today. My assistant's not here, so I'm gonna do what I'm gonna have to do. But let's see what the day brings.
It's amazing what you can find at the Summernats. Not often the case, but sometimes even a movie icon can make an appearance from time to time. The cars are out in full force. There's one event available is the dyno testing, known as the Helltech Horsepower Heroes, an event that this year had its previous record smashed with the Matux Racing VL Commodore Turbo 6 clocking in at just over 2,500 horsepower, taking home the grand prize. The cruising continues throughout, as per usual, on every day of the Summernats, as there is never a moment of rest within the fairgrounds. Stock standard factory muscle is not as common anymore, as the Nats bring more of the custom high-end blown V8s and other street power to take part in this event. Coming in as a continued spectator favourite after returning in 2022 is Drift Cadet Hot Laps. This is a ride-along event where for a price, those who wish can take part and be passenger to a group of drifting Japanese imports, burning rubber and synchronised driving, all the while avoiding the barriers and spectators looking on.
So one of the attractions here is Skid Row, where basically all the kids get a chance to show off a bit, do a burnout, and just go let loose on their own. Like they don't have to worry too much about doing things. And as always, the noise itself is deafening. The smoke is quite interesting, quite fun. But again, well, it's the spirit, the crowd loves it. And obviously the drivers love it because they keep doing it all day. If there's one thing that Summernats is contributing more than anything else, it's probably like a lot of burnt rubber in the atmosphere. So here we are again for day two. The weather's been good today. Luckily it's an overcast, so it's not too hot. Even though it's Australian summer, it's going pretty good. And now being the Friday, the 5th of January, now the Summernats has really kicked in. Today's the day like like everyone's come out. Apparently like Saturday's already sold out, so the attendance is high. And all the cars are out on display on Tough Street, just doing the cruising. And we're going to see how the day goes out. Yeah, today's a good mix now of Holdens. I could already see more Holdens out in the street, so today one of the big events is going to be the Burnout and the live music that's later on this afternoon. Crowd pleaser has to be the Burnouts. For years on in now, for decades now, it's always the biggest highlight of the show. And as you can see, the crowds are out and they just love it.
Present from day one has always been the Burnouts. The Summernats has pretty much held on to this identity, as despite the complaints of some, this one event always draws the most dedicated of crowds who are not afraid to lose a decibel or two when it comes to their hearing.
So everyone gathers around to see who's going to come out on top, and who's going to take home the trophy. For the most part, what else can I say about the South African show? It's afternoon now and around about 6 p.m. and as you can see the crowd's still here, the cars are still cruising, you still got the Burnouts going on, and you got some other events like just some regular dirt drifting. Now, one thing that Summernats has been known for and been able to do pretty well is this afternoon shows. Now, in the past, when it was a bit more adult-based, you know, they had a variety of, you know, some female entertainers, you know, some wet t-shirt contests. But since then, they've cleaned up their act a bit, but they've also like booked other shows in the past, you know, like some stunt shows and some other events to entertain the crowd. Now today, it's expected to be a concert going on tonight. So there's a couple of known Australian icons, one of which is the Screaming Jets. And they'll be performing tonight, which if I'm not mistaken, they're getting ready to perform now at the bandstand. And the crowd's gathering, so we might just head over there and see what happens next. Let's enjoy the show.
With Aussie icons like Daryl Braithwaite and the Screaming Jets performing live, the crowds are gathered, and you can see the Summernats continues to keep its reputation for putting on some of the best shows available. Initially, rock legend Jimmy Barnes was to perform also this year, but had to bow out due to health issues that required surgery. With the first 2 days now coming to its end, the best is yet to come, with Saturday being the day where all events come to their peak, and we get to also see a collection of some of the most gorgeous hand-picked cars to be first time displayed at the Great Maguire's Uncover event, a display which is all about automotive artwork to its extreme, with some one-of-a-kind vehicles on display ready to be judged and desired by the public. They don't get much better than this.
So here we are, day 3. As you can see, thanks to the weather this time, it's more indicative of the usual Australia type summer. So, if you ain't got your sunscreen on today, yeah, you're going to be regretting it later, and I know I will. As you can see, the venue's sold out. This is more or less what it's all about. People all here to see the one thing they love most, and that's cars.
Another highlight at the Summernats is the showroom display of the Great Maguire's Uncover, where a wonderful collection of some of the most beautiful muscle cars are out on display, customised to perfection, and showcased under one roof, with vehicles ranging from many different decades and even from across the globe, along with well-recognised Aussie legends such as Ford Falcons, Holden Tiranas, and many other one-of-a-kind showstoppers.
It's not just about the crews and it's not just about the burnouts. Even here at Summernats, they love to show off the best, you know, the most prestigious of the cars. And again, they're all in display and they're looking fantastic. And not all of them are stock standard. As a matter of fact, most of them are mostly, you know, customized. Got some beautiful interior, got some beautiful engine bays, and bodywork and paint scheme that's unbelievable. And just looking at these cars here, you can just get to appreciate, you know, just what a work of art they are. You know, I guess it goes back to that whole why we fall in love with these cars in the first place. And just looking at it now, looking at the crowd, how much they enjoy it, just the awards being handed out, you just gotta, you know, just gotta love it. Summernats.
We'll move on to the Elite Awards right now in the Maguire's division. And this one indeed sponsored by Maguire. With this one, you may as well make this $1,000. JB, you can take a seat, mate.
Some beautiful cars, I'll tell you that. What's good about all of this is the displays are unique as well. It's not just so much the cars, but how they're presented. You've got some cars here that, fair enough, I mean, like, they speak for themselves, but some people go all out, even in the display. They want to show off the car as much as possible. And again, that's what's so good about it. I mean, there's nothing stock, let's say, about the situation. It's all about your imagination, how much you want to express, and what you want to show off.
With numerous awards being handed out, it would eventually be Joe Bauer's 1969 blown Dodge Charger RT that would win the Covenant Grand Champion Award, as his 3,000 horsepower blown Hemi RT Charger was a sight to behold at the Summernats this year. Continuing on with the rest of the day, Saturday always proves to be the peak of audience attendance, as all major events come to a head on this day, most notably the Burnout competition, where everything is all left to hang out, with People's Champion Andrew Lynch in his blown Toyota Corolla gaining his first Burnout Masters crown at Summernats 36, as the award ceremony was moved to Saturday afternoon Super Cruise, where a majority of the cars in attendance would be driven around the showground as a final farewell tribute as the Summernats begins to reach its 2024 final conclusion.
So the day's coming to its end. As you can see, we've got the Super Cruise going on. Oi, exhausting, but well worth it. Now it's getting ready for the last show, most likely with fireworks.
With the Super Cruise being an almost final farewell to the event, the day would end with the kickoff of the fireworks display in a spectacular array of pyrotechnics. As the final show of the Summernats was about to begin, where unlike the previous concert and bands, which were a bit sporadic and surprisingly lower in attendance, this final event late in the Saturday night, with the DJ on hand playing numerous hits throughout the various decades, was shown to be one of the wildest and most packed events at the Summernats this year.
So we've been at it now this is the 4th day in a row. As you can see with the footage, it's calmed down a bit. This is more or less the day where people get started packing up. So this is more or less it. Whatever was to be done was done. Now it's just a little bit of a leftover. I mean, the cars are still about, they're still driving, don't get me wrong. Got the odd one here or there, there's still burnouts happening. But with Saturday gone, all the major events are over now, and soon enough, the venue will be closing early today. It's kind of one of those days where you're winding down, and because of the party last night, because of the concert, I imagine so many people probably hung over, couldn't be bothered showing up. But those who do, or those who did, are the ones that are really dedicated. So let's see the rest of Summernats on day 4. People just love just coming here. It's just so much fun. The event itself, it happens at a time of the year where things are winding down. It does kind of feel like, it feels more or less the end of the year as opposed to the start of it. Is it for everyone? Not necessarily, but is it enjoyable for those who do want to come? Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, what's there not to love? You got the burnouts, you got the power sliding now, like, you got concerts now, you got an array of different events as well. It's not always the same sort of shows that they put on. But these cars are now, with the years going by, these cars, especially like the 60s and 70s Aussie muscle cars, they are becoming more rare to see. They're not as common on the road anymore. They do collect a bit of coin, so not many people are willing to just throw them out there to perhaps get damaged, or anything that can happen to them that might devalue them. And there are always people that come here that do like take advantage of certain situations and might get too personal with either the vehicles or their owners and just, cause more trouble than it's worth. It's fair to say a fun time is had, and given the opportunity, I wouldn't mind coming back again. And hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.